Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. Well, I have a little scrap buster project for you. It's really easy, doesn't take a lot of skill. You can make these items. This is a door wreath. You can make them any size, from really tiny wreath to a great big giant one, and you can decide whatever little goodies you want to put on it. This one I really love. I love this little door chime bells. I just love it a lot. Super, super easy. Okay, let's get started. This is the wreath form that I'm using. Now there's many other different types of wreath forms. So what I'm doing on this, you can do to any of those. This is 14-inch diameter, but you can get them all the way up to 24 inches. They might even be, 20 inches. They might even be bigger. You could also get them really small. So like I said, what I'm going to do to this will apply to any of those wreath forms. For this project, you can use a ribbon that you purchase on spools like this. This is about 1.5 inch. You could even use 2 inch or 2.5 inch on this, or you can use fabrics. So I'm using leftover jelly roll strips. I found them going through my box of Christmas scraps and I ran across these. So I decided I'm going to use it. Now you can use all the same color of fabric, or you can use all the same color of ribbon, or as you saw earlier on my finished wreath, I used all of these colors. How much fabric you'll need depends on the size of the wreath form. So if you don't have any scrap fabric, or you want to buy something new and you want it all one color, when you buy your fabric, it's folded in half. And I was using quilting fabric, which is anywhere from 41 to 42 inches wide. So you keep it folded like it is when you purchase it off the mold. You cut your edge straight on one end, and I use a rotary cutter and rotary cutting ruler. Then I'll move over. I did mine 2.5 inches. You can make them wider if you like. Do your cut, then move over again and cut, and continue cutting till you have enough strips. I find it easier to wrap the fabric around the wreath if it's a shorter length. So when you've cut your strips, they're roughly 41 to 42 inches long. I would cut them in half. It's so much easier control when you're wrapping. Then I folded my edges over. You can fold them over 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, but when you fold them over, you want to leave a little bit of space in between the raw edges. I'm using a hot glue gun to do this. Now I have the back of my wreath form. If you're using one of these wire ones, the back side is facing up. And I've got my fabric underneath. And I'm going to be putting glue at one end, and then I'm going to fold it over and press it. So go ahead and put a line of glue across here, and then fold it over. Try not to burn yourself. I've burned myself many times with these hot glue guns, so I wouldn't give a hot glue gun to a child. Okay, then let it set for just a little bit of time to harden. Now flip the wreath over to where the front side is showing. And you're going to begin wrapping this fabric around, or your ribbon. But before I wrap, I tightened it up here, and I'm going to put just a tiny dot of glue right there. Not much, just a little dot. Then I'm going to take this ribbon or fabric and overlap the edges. Then I'm going to continue that same process, put a little dab of glue, again not much, and wrap it. Now you would continue that. When you get to the end of your strip, you want to make sure you end it with being on the back side. So now I'm at the end of my strip, and I'm just going to go right along there, put a line of glue, I should say, and wrap it onto the back and press it down. Then you would add your next strip on. Remember, it can be a different color or the same color. Once you have it all wrapped, then you need to decide what kind of decoration are you going to put on it. Is it just going to be foliage, or maybe you're just going to put a giant bow? It's really up to you. So here at the bottom portion, I'm going to have a bow up here and all of this down below. These are giant gold leaves right here. I got them at Walmart. They're in their seasonal decor section. Then I left maybe 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of space in between the gold leaves. Then I took other miscellaneous leaves and foliage that I had, and I cut it up. I cut the long ends off, and I began to hot glue them down here. I want to put this poinsettia in the middle, but the whole poinsettia flower was too big and it was kind of flopping all over the place. So I took just the bottom portion off, and I have this portion. So I'm going to put a blob of glue, a lot, down right there in the middle, and then it's going to go over in here like that. I find if you have your leaves popping up like this, you can put a little tiny dab on the back and then press it down so that it lays nice and open. So here's what it looks like at this point. If I want to, I can take more of the poinsettia leaves and put a little glue on it and stick them underneath the other leaves if you want more red showing. I'm using this gold twine. I bought it at Walmart, where they sell all the ribbons and trims. It's made by Simplicity. Now the length of it that you need is really going to depend on the size of your wreath. So when you finally decide how long you want it, then you want to take the 2 ends and knot them together. So now place the twine underneath your wreath, and then you're going to insert that one end. You want to try to get it centered, and then pull on it. And so this little opening right here is going to go on whatever hook you want to use. So after you've got it centered, then I advise you to put a little glob of glue right in there. You can use a bow that you've purchased, or you can make your own. If you don't know how to make a decorative bow, I have a separate tutorial on how to do that. So you scroll down to the description section, click on Show More or the down arrow. That area will expand open and you will see a variety of links, and one of them is how to make, it's either called decorative bow or Christmas bow, and you can always alter them just a little bit. So on this one, I cut 2 shorter pieces of the ribbon, and I'm using wire ribbon, and I did a little pointed end. You can also do a dovetail, and then I crossed them like this, put a little bit of glue to hold them together. Then place glue on the back and center it up here at the top over where your little loop is. Then turn your bow over to the back side and put a lot of glue on it. Try not to get it on your hands, which it seems like I always do. Once you got it covered pretty good, then go ahead and place it right over the center top of your other ribbon. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. So for the doorbell chimes, the little bells, you're going to take another strip. And again, you can make it any width and length that you want. I'm using one of the jelly roll scraps, which is 2.5 inches wide. I've cut the long strip in half, so it's about 21, 22 inches long. Then you're going to flip it over to where the back is showing, the not so pretty side. Then at each end, fold it over 1/4 inch and press. Turn it to where the pretty side is up, then fold it in half, bringing your 2 ends together. Then you're going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam on both edges. After you have it stitched, you want to take a piece of fusible interfacing, and I'm just using a lightweight fusible interfacing, so it has beads of glue on one side. I cut it 9 inches long by 1 7/8 inches wide. So right now I have the glue side up. I'm going to turn it over and put the glue side down. I'm putting the one edge here at the folded end of my fabric strip. And then you have this area up here where you do not need to have your interfacing. Go ahead and follow your package instructions for fusing it on. It probably tells you to put a damp cloth over it, use a hot iron with steam, and hold it down 10 to 15 seconds. Once you have it all fused, I would let it sit and cool for a moment. Then go through your opening and begin turning it front side out. You can use a tube turner if you like, or just do it the old-fashioned way with your fingers pushing it through. After you've got it turned front side out, go ahead and press it nice and flat, and then stitch your opening edge closed. Now you'll see I've got little dots right here. This is so you can see how far apart I recommend you place your bells. This is the folded edge down here. So I'm going to go up 1 inch and put a dot. Then go up 2 inches, put a dot, 2 and 2. I put 4 bells on, but remember, you can do as many as you want. So right here is where you're going to insert your needle and thread. It's real easy to get it through there. So I like to double my thread when I'm doing this, and I've gone through maybe 3 times and then tied it off on the back. And this is what it sounds like when you're all done. This little wreath that I have here was part of another decoration that I bought at Joann's. It was a fall decoration, and I pulled the items off of it. And then as I was pulling the items off of it, it began to fall apart. So I took 1/4 inch ribbon, this green ribbon, this is Ofray ribbon that I bought at Walmart, and I just circled it around and hot glued the ends together on the back. Now this white foliage here was actually part of the decor that I ripped off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crisscross it like this and glue it down. And then I have these little berries. I'm going to clip the end off and then glue it on top. So now to attach the two together, I've laid this end over the top and the center down here at the bottom. And now I'm going to flip it over. So at this edge right here, you want to make sure you've got the back side facing up. I'm going to put glue across the top. And then press it down so that it looks like this. Now turn it over to the front. Now put a line of glue along here on the front, and then fold this over. If you can't get a wreath that's large enough to go over your door handle and you want to just put it on a hook on your door, you can either put the ribbon on like I showed you in the wreath, putting it on that way, or you can take a shorter piece and hot glue it on the back side at the very top center. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I had a lot of fun making it. These are so easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of skill to put these together. Remember, go through that scrap pile. Now, if you're interested in other Christmas decor, there are a lot of links down below your YouTube screen. Just scroll down to that description section and you'll see all of the links appearing. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy sewing! If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl. This is Manny. See you next time.